a Pete Primeau fan?
Thank you for having me.
Your fans are like...
What an honor to be here, Pete. You're a legend. You're a rock star.
I'm a legend in my own mind, said my wife.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I'm Mr. Selling from the Heart. What's this guy, Larry Levine, going to teach me about selling from the heart?
You are one of the most generous and authentic people around. And I think that's why you and your show are so attractive to people.
Welcome to the Pete Primeau Show. It is episode 270, and it's Ask Pete, my favorite show, because all I do is sit around and Chris asks me all the questions. Just got a couple of commercials to get out of the way. If you haven't bought my book, Sell a Million, what are you waiting for? My dear friend Doug Stewart mentioned to me, actually, it's in his review, take the word mattress or furniture, and it's just a great business and marketing book. And that's what it is. It's a marketing book. Sounds like a sales book. If you want a sales book, I've got a sales book for you. Miles and miles of retail selling greatness. How to sell more mattresses this year. It should be how to sell more mattresses instantly, because each chapter will help you get closer to your goal of selling more mattresses. And if you just read the first chapter or two, you're going to automatically go and sell more mattresses. For you sales managers that have to do a weekly sales meeting, this is pretty much 3 years worth of sales meetings if you chop the book up in little chunks. So guys, this isn't really my book. Confession time. Chris Tahaney, Justin Trumbo, Steve Carnes, Jeff Janakovo, Brent Batterman, Randy Thompson, the adjustable bed guru, the incredible Scott Vaughn, Mark Klingenberg, Randy Thompson, I already said Randy Thompson, Mel Opp, and Keith Cassenguy. 10 other contributing authors. So this isn't just my book. I was just kind of the ringleader on it. And a lot of the content is mine. After I finished writing the book, I asked myself a very tough question. What's changed? What do our retail sales pros need to be successful today? And how do we give that to them in this book? So I think it's a couple of cups of coffee these days. Just under $20 on Amazon. Grab a copy. And if you do grab a copy and you're reading it and you need help with anything, call me 419-560-3169. I don't want to be on the phone for hours on end, but I will help you implement anything that's in that book as my way of saying thank you. Anybody that's going to the next conference, bring your copy. I'll be happy to sign it and chat with you and see what we can help you get implemented. So, without a further ado, let me thank my sponsors, Steve and Greg. Thank you for sponsoring the Pete Primeau Show. Mattress Industry Network Group is a great group. Over 3,200 members. I keep saying, I think it's just, it must be around 3,000. It's over 3,200 members now. If you want to learn how to build, market, sell, and succeed in the mattress industry today, join this free Facebook group. 100% free to join. Everybody's in there. Retailers are in there. Wholesalers are in there. Store owners, sales pros that work the retail floor, sales reps, VPs of sales, owners of manufacturing businesses. Everybody's in here. Join the group. You'll be thankful you did. You don't need to be in this business all alone. And the Mattress Industry Network group helps you to be able to have conversations with owners in other parts of the country who are having the same challenges you're having and who have come up with creative solutions to solve some of those problems. And you can learn the easy way instead of having to learn the hard way through your own experience. If you're serious about the mattress business, you really have to go ahead and join Mattress Retailer Toolkit. Mike Capuzzi and Jeff Chinakovo created this group. It has incredible trainings. If you want to build a business that doesn't own you, that you own it, you control it, you really need to join this group. And it doesn't matter if you're a single store or a multi-store retailer, if you're a furniture retailer, if you're an industry influencer, if you're an industry leader, factory reps, you're all allowed in here. I am a member of this group and I love the trainings in particular. There's so much here for you. And I think it's something stupid. It's under $100 a month. So hit that QR code, join Mattress Retailer Toolkit, and start being better at everything that has to do with mattresses. This is one of the best things that you can do for under $100 a month. Now you have to roll up your sleeves and do the work. Mattress RSAs. Your stories deserve to be heard. Chris Tahaney's putting together a wonderful book, and it's all about elevating our industry. It's about you sharing a success story where your customer had a great outcome. We want a collection of these stories. If you have a story, just send it, email it to Mattress RSA Stories, all one, @gmail.com. You could even take a picture of something handwritten and Chris will type it out, but please don't do that. If you're not the best writer in the world and you want Chris to rewrite it for you, just ask him. He'll do it for you. He'll send it back to you and ask for your approval if your story is chosen to be in this new book. So, guys, jump in. If you're a store owner and you've got a superstar sales pro and he or she's just too shy to put the story in, put the story in for them. Their stories deserve to be heard. The customer story deserves to be heard. And this effort, when we get this book published, is going to elevate the entire industry. So, Chris, thank you for doing that. And Chris Stone, I get to take off for the rest of the
Not so fast, Pete. Pete Primeau, the pride of Schenectady. Oh, man, this is exciting. It's been a minute since we've done Ask Pete, so I feel like we need a little bit of a refresher for the audience here who has joined us. If you want to sit back, hang out, and listen and be a chicken, that's cool. But this is really about picking what's left of the brain of Pete Primeau.
Not much left.
And getting all and soaking up all of that wisdom. And for a lot of people, they could be busy on a Monday at noon, and so they email you questions. These are questions that maybe somebody's given to you on email. And if you do want to email Pete and have your question answered, and you want to remain anonymous, like some people want to do because they're sharing some business stuff that they feel a little weird about, that's fine. We usually protect the names of people to protect the innocent, or so whatever phrase that they use on TV nowadays. But it's super helpful because Pete, as you know, a lot of people, if somebody's got a problem, usually a number of people have that same problem, and it's always good to sort of discuss and do that. But if you are joining us live, you will take precedence. So if you do have a question, you do have a comment, we are going to pop that up. And speaking of comments, we've already got a lot of comments here. People know the drill. And Andy Anderson, love Chris and Jeff. Okay. I That's Pete. I'm Chris, but we love Jeff too because Jeff Janakovo, maybe that's who Andy meant, is thanking you, Pete, for the shout out for Mattress Retailer Toolkit, and he has put the link to your affiliate link, so you get a few shekels if somebody were to click that link. Thanks, Jeff, for serving this industry with Mattress Retailer Toolkit, and for serving Pete with the link.
Thanks, Jeff, for being here. He's one guy who's probably too busy to be here. Andy said sponsors.
Yeah. Hey, listen, like, sometimes, you have to keep the lights on around here. So
you do have to keep the lights on. Chad Fisher, I love this. Nothing better than hearing the positive stories from the boots on the ground. Yeah, Chad, do whatever you can to help Chris get this book finished. He's got a great start. I've seen some of the chapters in it, and it's really exciting. It's just a great project. So thank you, Chad.
Jacksonville Betting is chiming in. I have a feeling that might be RJ, but it could be Tara. I don't know. Identify yourself in the chat, Jacksonville Betting, so we know who we're talking to. Usually both of them join and chiming in. So thank you, and congratulations too as well to Jacksonville Betting, Mattress and More for the upcoming opening of their new store, which I believe is in early May. So that's super exciting. Becky Woolman is joining. Hi there from Becky and Brad. We got all the rock stars are in the house, Pete, and we've got questions as well. So everybody knows the drill. We can't even get to the emails because the Pete Primeau fans, they want to hear from you, Pete. So
well, the rules are the rules. Your live questions go first. So let's go.
Hey, I could break the rules. I'm pushing the buttons back here, but I won't. It is RJ. RJ, thanks for identifying yourself, my friend.
Hey, RJ.
All right, we're gonna start with Andy because Andy was first, and so we're gonna see this. He says, biggest ticket you personally saw as an RSA.
So I don't even know if they're still in business. When I was a Serta rep, I had an account called Tillis Interiors in Munster, Indiana. And Tillis Interiors, I'm getting to know the salespeople / designers. I think almost every one of them was a certified interior designer. And I think my biggest ticket, I don't really remember anymore. I'm going to say maybe it was 15,000, 20,000. This is back between 82 and halfway through 91. So January of 1982 to June of 91. That's when I sold. So I'm going to say 20,000, give or take 5,000 either way. And we're talking. And I'm like, so what's the biggest ticket you ever wrote? And this designer looks at me and goes, well, I've had a few over 150,000. And I just went, how did you do it? I started taking notes. I've always been willing to be coached up. So, if you ask that question to enough people, you're going to eat some humble pie. And maybe if you ask the right questions, you'll learn something.
Wow. Good stuff. Always great to hear a story. When you talk about the 80s or the 90s, it's like you're talking to some people probably that weren't even born yet here on the Pete Primeau Show.
I understand that.
Which is like, that's humbling in and of itself. All right, so we've got a question from RJ, our man, the Sleep Next Conference board member, and the guy from Jacksonville Betting opening their new store in May. RJ asked, what separates the top 5% of independent retailers from everyone else?
Ooh, that is a great question, RJ. Mm-hmm. The top 5% from everyone else. Chris, go ahead and pull my framework up because this is really important for everyone to understand. So everything starts with your marketing / advertising, everything. But before you even get to that place, you have to really understand who your customer is and who it's not.
Mm.
And that is the beginning of the three-legged stool. And the three-legged stool is basically media, message, and market. This is straight up Dan Kennedy Marketing 101. Identify your market, create a compelling message of why your store, why do you exist? Why are you the best option in your market? And here's the kicker. And this is straight up Dan Kennedy. If I would be an absolute hypocrite if I didn't give Dan credit for this. Including every retailer in your marketplace. And here's the kicker, including doing nothing at all. And I'm going to tell you why that's so important in the mattress business. When I was with Serta, we spent a lot of money on surveys. And you know what we learned about the mattress customer? We learned the customer comes in and out of the market. It takes 3 years before she actually comes into the market for good and consummates the actual purchase. The kids need braces, the roof leaks, the car breaks down, life happens, and that mattress gets pushed back. They go to a store, they may not have a great customer experience there, and they just push it away. And then they come in and out of the market over a 3-year period. So the top 5% focus in on who their customer is, what their message is, why them and no one else. Then they choose their media based on that. And we know that media has changed. You know, when I started in 1982, I had to get really good at taking our vloxes, which were our ads for the newspapers, and customizing them for my dealers. And then restructuring these set ads to be stronger for my retailers. Then we would help them with radio ads. We'd help them with TV ads. And now it's all changed. You know, Facebook, Instagram, name a social media platform, LinkedIn. LinkedIn's starting to get more play at retail. YouTube is huge. And, you know, YouTube and LinkedIn, there's a connection there, and everybody needs to understand that connection because they're family.
Yeah.
And if you really want to maximize your Google juice, you've got to be good at YouTube. And if you're good at YouTube, it's going to help you get more Google juice. So I'm trying not to digress. So this is what I would say. The top 5% of all retailers, they know who their customer is. They have a compelling message. They choose their media wisely, and they are not stuck in the mud on where those media dollars go. Those are metrics that are measured on a monthly basis, and they're adjusted so that there is a return on their investment, and it looks completely different. Then once the customer comes in the store, the first thing they see is your display after they see your website. You can't be a top 5% retailer without having a great website these days and a social media presence. No matter how much you might personally hate some social media, okay? You need to be on social media in a productive, compelling way that ties into your website. So your website cannot be average. It has to be elite. And your social media presence needs to be substantial and consistent with all of your other marketing messages that you're putting out there. And then after your display, they're going to see your merchandise, and merchandising needs to be crisp. You should be able to, in a mattress lineup, you should be able to put a blindfold on Mrs. Jones, and you should be able to put duct tape on your salesperson's mouth. And they step themselves up based on feel, not look. Now, we know that look impacts mattress selection. We know that. But in a perfect world, we would merchandise so well that they step themselves up based on feel alone without having to be told every little spec, which is a sure way to not be a top 5% retailer. Top 5%, they train more than anybody you know. If you took what the 5% spend in sales training, it would be more than the other 95% added together. Think about that. It's a bold statement, but it's a true statement. You cannot be an elite retailer and not invest in your salespeople. And I'm not talking just books and podcasts and seminars. I am talking about an unrelenting, everyday training. If you guys don't own Bob Munkle's stuff, you've got to jump in on unclemunkle.com and have those trainings. If you guys aren't doing Brent Batterman's trainings, you're just missing the boat. Brent Batterman is elite. And there's other trainers out there, but for my money, Bob Munkle and Brent Batterman are the guys when it comes to training. And I'm talking about now training retail salespeople. The other one who is getting bigger by the minute is my dear friend Scott Vaughn. He does a variety of trainings. He does training mostly for store owners, but it drips into sales training. And Scott is unbelievable. He is literally the Energizer Bunny. So invest money in sales training. Start off with free and work your way into paid events and paid trainers. Leverage your reps. Here's the thing about reps. And I've been a rep since 1991. Okay. And before that, I was, a store manager, and I was a sales pro that worked the retail floor. But a lot of your reps have never sold a thing at retail. They've never bought a house. They've never started their kids' college funds with the money that they made on commission. Some are great. Usually the great ones are the ones that worked retail before. There are some really great reps that used to own their own stores. So don't just arbitrarily punt the football on training to your reps. Be selective, but leverage your reps. They should become an arm, an extension of you, and tell your reps what you want them to know. I ask one question before I do a sales training. I ask it the minute I set the training up. Is there something that's near and dear to your heart that's important for your salespeople to get, but no matter how many times you say it, they don't get it? And I'm not talking about like my product. I'm talking about just general. And they'll tell you something. And if you as a rep aren't doing this, you need to do this. You need to be a extension of that retailer's training arm, and you need to be consistent with everything that store owner is telling his or her salespeople. Never should be, there are some of these company reps they're just throwing up propaganda instead of customizing and being consistent and being helpful to the retailers. Then right before the sales training, I always ask again. When we talked earlier, you had mentioned that it was really important to talk about blah, blah, blah. Is that still the case, or has another concern come up that's more important? And there's a name for this. It's called the tyranny of the familiar. It's like your parents when you're growing up. Your parents can say the same thing, but like if your parents are really, really smart, they'd get your favorite aunt or uncle to tell you like the thing that they need you to do, right?
Mm.
That's how our reps should be. Use your reps. They're free. You are paying them a commission. They are being paid a commission on your account. So they make money when you sell more of their products. So they're getting paid, and you should use them as much as you can. But again, go back to it. Bob Munkle, Scott Vaughn, Brent Batterman, those are the guys. Hire them, pay them, and train your people. So then the last thing, and a lot of people get lost in the weeds on this one. If you're going to be a top 5% retailer, you cannot do it with average delivery. You can't do it with average service. It has to be elite. Everything, the advertising, your marketing, your display, your merchandising, sales education, your delivery, and any service that's needed. Because today, you've got to get referrals. You have to get 5-star online reviews, and you have to get testimonials from your customers. If you're not going to be in business in long term. And if you're going to accuse me of being melodramatic, wait in line and take a number.
Dang, P, you came out the gate today, man. You're on fire, man. That right there, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, right there. I rest my case. No, I just had to land that plane with that analogy. Seriously, Pete, that felt like a mini masterclass right there. So, folks, if you're listening, chime in the chat. What resonated with you? I'm going to tell you, Pete, I'm going to underline a few things that you said. There's just too much that we can just breeze on by. And I think it's important. Number one, when you were talking about websites and social media for your stores, I can't help but think about some of these. I mean, we continue to go to Happy Z's. We continue to go to Gardner's Mattress and More, to Jacksonville Bedding Mattresses and More in Jacksonville. But there's a reason why these sort of this cream rises to the top, and we talk about them. But if you go to Jacksonville Bedding Mattresses and More and you look at their website, it mirrors their store, because you can see there's a picture of RJ opening the front door at one point. So you see the guy, right? You see who that is. He's got a smile on his face. There's a lot of these places where there's so many videos that you see on Facebook for Happy Z's. When you walk into that store, you know exactly what everything looks like. You know the people that walk up to greet you. You know these people. You're familiar with these people because you see them on social media. You've gone to their website. You've done all that stuff. And you talk about the other thing I want to underline as well, and this relates to Gardner's, is that Jeff and Ben at Gardner's just put their entire sales staff through training to be I forget what exactly it is, but Chris Tahaney talked about that, about them being licensed sleep experts, and they went through that entire. And it is not just a quick rubber stamp. Let's just give this person something that they can hang on their wall in their office. This is like, he went through the whole thing and told me all about it. I was like, geez, that is incredibly and you have to sit down, really lean in order to get that license. And that is what the top 5% do, is they don't just roll their sales staff out there. They equip them. They make the entire process something that they can invest in themselves. And I think that was important. I didn't want that to fly by, Pete, because that was
no, I'm glad that you brought that up. That definitely goes in the training bucket.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come back to Andy's comment.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing that you brought up that, Chris Tahaney has been really big on
Yeah.
becoming a certified sleep expert. Um, it ties right in the fact that Gardeners just did this. So Jeff does so many things right, but he saw something and he said, I need to do that. And so you cannot be a top 5% retailer or a top 5% business in any industry without being what Les Brown would say, hungry. You really have to be hungry.
Love
You
me some
have to be
Les.
looking, turning up every stone and going, all right, what I'm missing something. There's something I could be doing.
Hungry
There's got
and
to be something
curious.
I could be doing to elevate my business.
Mm.
What is it? And you get a guy like Jeff Giannakovo who does so many things right, like 99.9%. He found a 0.1% thing and he jumped on it. You're welcome, Jeff. Jeff says, thanks for all the shout outs. Jumping on another call now. Can't believe he even got on for this.
I was going to say, like,
thank you, brother.
The other thing the top 5% do is they join communities. They contribute value. You think Jeff Giannakovo, you don't think he's got other things that he could be doing, but he's joining in the chat. He's adding his value. He's not just here to get the backslaps. Trust me, Jeff is not a guy that yearns for that, right? That's not his thing, but he is absolutely grateful for it. And Jeff,
Chris, that's what we missed. Thank you for bringing it up.
What's that?
Top 5% retailer supports his or her community like no other.
There you go.
That's huge. And I missed it. And I just want to give a shout out to Kelly Charles from Big Mattress. She doesn't let somebody on her floor until they're a certified sleep expert.
Awesome.
They have to go through the training. They have to become certified. If they don't become certified, they're not getting on the floor. I love that. Shout out to Kelly on that.
That's awesome.
RJ, that was a great question, man.
Yeah.
Actually, we could just probably do the rest of the show on that, but
we should do that, Pete, because I feel like, honestly, you went through it and there's just a ton, as you would say, that you like to say, to unpack there. But I think, and you're obviously passionate about it, and it's something I think that resonates. If you were here selling mattresses in the 70s or you've just started, I think it's a lot of that stuff is super impactful. So thank you, RJ, for that question. The other thing that Andy felt like he needed to add to your list, Pete, is that there's some guy named Pete Primeau wrote a few good books with a wink.
Couple. I'm working on the third one now. But thank you, Andy. I appreciate that.
So Andy says, can't do it with average pay because it attracts average reps. Pete, what do you got to say about that?
I agree. And that's true at retail and it's true at wholesale. I once asked the general manager, Paul Sullivan at United Sleep Products. I said, everybody pays X. You're paying X plus. Why are you doing that, Paul? And he said, it's really simple, Pete. He goes, look around at the reps that we have. I mean, we had reps that were making 10 to 20 times as much as an average rep. So the best reps, they're going to go where they can make the most money. And so you have to offer them the proper incentives. Listen, if you want average reps, here's the recipe. Give them a salary. You want average VPs of sales? Here's the recipe. Give them a salary. You want exceptional? You want the best? Better have a pretty substantial upside on whatever their package is. And I really think that you're going to see more and more pure commission on VPs of sales in the future.
Wow.
So yes, I agree. Andy, great point. It's true at retail. It's true at wholesale.
All right, we've cleared the docket from the chat so we can get into the emails, Pete. And for those who are still who are watching and listening live, hit us up in the chat if you got any questions. We will pull up the tent stakes on whatever we're covering and go right to your question first. So here we go. Our first question is emailed from Concerned in California. Hi, Pete. We've seen other stores whose salespeople and even store managers are actively promoting stores that they work at on social media. This seems like a good idea, but I'm afraid of a possible fallout due to the polarization of political and even at times religious commentary. How do other stores handle protecting against the possible downside while capitalizing on the upside?
That's a great question. Concern in California. Were you eavesdropping on our Win the Weekend on Friday? Because we talked about this on Friday. And Jeff Janakovo said something that I think was really impactful. When he talks to his people about social media, be mindful of what you're saying, and even on your personal social media, pretend like you've got your gardener's mattress and more polo shirt on before you post. Think about it. So that's a guardrail, and that is an attitudinal perspective that Jeff's asking his sales team to take into consideration. So this is complicated, and I would really defer to people who are more experts on HR, and any policy or guardrails that you put into place. I would run it by your HR, or if you're a smaller company, some kind of HR expert to make sure you're in compliance with your state laws. But it's dicey, and I'll tell you why it's dicey. It's dicey because we're more polarized today than ever before. How I even post, I'm not even really on Facebook anymore. Barely, hardly at all. LinkedIn, much more active on LinkedIn. Probably 80% of my social media time is on LinkedIn, and the rest is really on YouTube, and maybe 1% on Facebook. So I literally I'm in and out and not there often. So I think the thing that Jeff said is super important. Pretend like you've got your company shirt on.
Yeah.
What are you posting? How does it impact people? Could it be construed as offensive to somebody that wants to be offended? And I think that's really important today, because there are some people out there looking for a fight. They have no life. They have no goals. They have nothing. They live and die on social media.
Yeah.
And they want to be offended. So,
well, and they're passionate about the, whatever.
And they might honestly be passionate about something.
Sure.
You're always a representative. One of the things that we got into Concerned in California on is, before you even hire somebody, you need to do a deep dive on their social media. I mean, if they're like a complete wacko to one side or the other, and they're going to be offensive and detrimental to your customers, just don't hire them. And I know that could get you in all kinds of hot water if you express that. Like I said before, any advice that I give you, run it by HR. Make sure you're in compliance with your state laws. But that is a concern in California. That's a real concern. And we just heard that there are several top 100s that are asking their people to promote their store. on their personal social media.
Oh yeah.
And some of them even have budgets for it. If you know, you don't get X amount, it's not a huge percentage. The example that we heard was like 5%, but they have coupon codes and they track it, what percentage of your sales are coming from your social media efforts. There are some people that are insanely good at social media. Andy Anderson is really good at social media, and gets customers in, and he's really good on the phone, and he's sending retail. He's getting retail customers from all over the country. He's sending business all over the place. So it can be done. It's important. You should be so this is what I would say. I know I'm not giving you much of an answer because I keep running into brick walls with this thing. But listen, everybody that's at Nationwide, you guys, they have HR experts at Nationwide. They have them at Brand Source or any good buying group. Ask them what the best practices are for social media and your salespeople from an HR perspective, because we want you, whatever your efforts are to increase your business, we want to make sure that you are not crossing any lines that you can't uncross.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think that's good. It's good advice, Pete. I think, you know, in the last 5 to 10 years, you know, especially on social media, is the rise of this word, which is, you know, some people kind of turn their nose up at, but the word is influencer. And so as everyone, you know, has their personal account in some way, shape, or form, you can influence someone one way or the other, or multiple ways, based on you sharing whatever you're going to share, whether that's an opinion, whether that's, you know, whatever that is. And I think having that discretion and you know, maybe hitting pause before you hit send on something, and think about how that might impact other things, you know, might do you some good. Listen, Pete, there's a ton of people that they don't care and they're going to do it. And what happens sometimes is, you know, they lose jobs, they lose, you know, trust, they lose whatever. And people are making decisions, buying decisions based on your influence one way or the other.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think it's something we got to be really delicate of. And I think some people are bulls in china shops when it comes to social media, and it is good. I think it was a great point for you. Before you hire somebody, you might want to go down a rabbit hole or two to kind of see, you know, what that person is posting, and you know, do your due diligence with that person before you hire someone that could all of a sudden, you know, hurt your sales potentially as a store owner.
Awesome.
All right. So we've got some comments coming in. ADHD Alabama, thanks for the invite. Hey, as always, if you've got anything to chime in here, ADHD Alabama, we're all ears. We'd love any questions. And of course, David Grange, thanks for joining us again. There is the iconic mattress doctor. Hi, Dr. Pete from David Grange.
Thank you, David.
All right, Pete. Question number 2. Hey, we got to question 2 this week. This is from Perplexed in Pennsylvania. Hi, Pete. I am a new store owner. Congratulations. I've worked in various mattress stores for the past 11 years. I'm learning quickly that I don't know as much as I thought I did. Getting traffic into the store has been much more difficult than I expected. There seems to be quite a few so-called experts in this industry. You are one of the few that I trust. Who else should I be listening to, and what events should I attend? That's from Perplexed in Pennsylvania.
Perplexed in Pennsylvania, what I would say, yes, you're right. There are quite a few so-called experts, and there are, you know, people that still put plastic on their mattresses that call themselves experts, and it's just like, really? Who you should be listening to is Scott Vaughn. If he puts on a master class, pay that man whatever he's asking to go to that masterclass and go. It's changed the lives of numerous retailers. Called JR, Jacksonville Bedin, had a huge impact on him, huge impact on Randy Thompson in Van Wert, Ohio, and many others. Scott Vaughn, MRT, Mattress Retailer Toolkit. For under $100 a month, there's not a better deal out there. I mean, Jeff Janakovo and Mike Capuzzi, what they've created there is really something special. Dependent on what you feel you need. Can you pull that question back up? I just wanted to read part of it. Okay, so it's a traffic question. So this is Joel Burr, Buhr, Joel. I barely know the guy, but I know that several of my retailers are getting great results from Joel. He's a very smart guy. He works in our industry, not exclusively, but he works with some really good store owners, and he's getting some really good results. So,
is this Joel Burr that we're seeing here? Is this the Joel Burr that you're talking about? I don't know
if it's the.
Okay, well.
I don't know that that's the right one.
All right.
Or if that's him when he was younger. But when it comes to traffic, Mattress Retailer Toolkit will be very, very helpful. I would say, who else in the industry? The cheapest way is to be in the Mattress Industry Network group and connect to Jeff Janakovo, connect to Randy Thompson. Nobody's better at adjustable bed training than Randy Thompson. I know your question's really about creating traffic. So I think Joel Burr, that is actually in the Mattress Industry Network group, is your best guy for traffic. A year ago, it would have been a different name, but based on what's happened in the last year, I'm going with Joel. Scott Vaughn's very good when it comes to advertising, all aspects of retail, and he is very good at. But that Mattress Retailer Toolkit for under $100 a month, that's insane. And then you have access to a whole community of people who are brilliant, like JR, that do a lot of special things. So so you're perplexed in Pennsylvania. You're not alone.
No.
Many store owners were really great salespeople, right? And they had success, and then they wanted to do their own thing. And unless you have a background in marketing and advertising, it is daunting to create traffic. It's not easy.
Yeah.
If you worked for a better retailer who was good at creating traffic, they're few and far between. So creating traffic is its own thing. I would really encourage you to study marketing too. Dan Kennedy, if you looked at Dan Kennedy's tree and who came off of it, it's like a who's who. Almost every famous marketer that you would throw the name at me has a root to Dan Kennedy, whether it's 3 or 4 branches down. But the fundamentals of marketing, they don't change. Some of the old marketing books, they're worth reading. because your messaging is going to change slightly, but there's only so many different messages. The market is going to change slightly. There's only a certain amount of markets. The media is the thing that really fluctuates. So getting really, really good at the messaging and understanding who your customer is. And I'm going to give you a really good clue that 100% free. Ask every customer that walks into your store how they found you and or why they came in. Learn as much about the few customers that you're getting. And I'm going to say this to you. Let your customers create the roadmap for you, because you might think, this is my customer. This is my customer. But this is your customer. In reality, it's different. It's different than you thought. And the only thing that might be working is your location and them seeing your sign. Or one media is driving all of it. And what you need to do is reallocate that money into the one place it's really working. So I'm a big believer in walking before you run.
Yeah.
And I would do everything that I could for free. And listen, you can go on YouTube today and you can plug into YouTube Dan Kennedy's marketing. You know, hey, it's free. I mean, you can get so much great free information. And then you'll work your way into paid events. You know, where me and Jeff Janakovo met. Do you know? I know where we met. We met at a super conference down in Florida at a Dan Kennedy event. That's where we met. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. You told me that story. You could see this guy over there and he's like scribbling in his notepad and writing a ton of notes. You're like, I got to meet this guy. He's on, like, he's soaking up, more than I am. Pete, I wanted to make mention because people want to know the link to Joel. I looked in the Mattress Industry Network and found that the Joel that you are talking about is Joel Burr, and it is First Direct Marketing.
Yes,
so
that's Joel.
First Direct Marketing. Let me go ahead and share the website for everyone, just so that you've got it. This is First Direct Marketing. No myths, just marketing that works. A lot of mattress retailers here and mattress companies that are what he's worked with. So First Direct Marketing is the website, and that is the Joel Burr, not the other one that I had shared previously.
That's awesome.
And we've got some comments coming in. Posted it above my comment. Yeah, we're not seeing, we don't have, thank you for doing that. We haven't, we don't see the links coming in on our side. And Randy Thompson says, thanks for the shout out for adjustable bed training. And Charles, hey, it's fine if you missed the first part of this show. These things are always available for you on replay. It may be a little difficult on LinkedIn to do that, but that same link that you're viewing there in LinkedIn, you could rewind it all the way to the beginning and catch anything that you may have missed. Yeah.
And this is being recorded live on YouTube as well.
Yep.
That it'll be live the minute we're done. It's there, and it lives there for a long time. Nicholas Dover, thank you for all of your questions. And yeah, Joel's a real deal, man. He's really good. He's very thoughtful. He works with bigger retailers and he works with smaller retailers. He's a very thoughtful and very methodical guy who gets results for his retailers.
All right, Pete, I think we got time for another one.
Okay.
And if anybody that's here in the chat live has something, get it in now. Last call. I'm going to start flickering on the lights here, folks. Last call for any questions.
Why did that go quick?
Hey, we're not done yet. You never know. You never know. What just might happen here. Well, let me do this. There we go. How about that for a pattern interrupt? This is from Curious in Idaho. Pete, thank you for the 2 books you wrote, your weekly podcast. Yay! That's me cheering. And your Win the Weekend with Pete and Friends Zoom call. These have been helpful to me and my stores. Please forgive this question if it's too personal. Oh, sometimes you talk about your daughter and Jenny, and sometimes you say your kids, plural. How many children do you have, and what do they do? Curious in Idaho. Here we go. Now we're peeling back the Pete Primeau onion.
All right. So without, I could spend an hour or 2 on this conversation. So Christiana is my daughter with Jenny. In my first marriage, we have PJ, Polly, and Lisa. And getting into what they do would take a lot of time. But needless to say, I'm proud of all of my children. And that is a very good question. And I've gotten that from numerous people, by the way. You're not the only one curious. So it would be Christiana, PJ, Polly, and Lisa. That would be a total of 4. I am sadly way behind the curve because Steve Hauk is like more than doubling me, and who knows, his wife might be pregnant with their 9th.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you.
That's the first time, I think, Pete, that we've had a personal question like that. So I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Very, very glad. All right. So let's roll because we've got some questions here in the chat. So this is going to be like lightning round, Pete. Are you ready here?
Let's go.
All right. I think you said this person's name, ADHD Alabama.
Yeah, Nicholas.
So Nicholas says, what's the best paid advertising strategy for 2026? Television, TikTok, Facebook videos, or all?
It depends.
That's my favorite answer.
So it depends on who your customer is, what your message is, what is your greatest differentiator, what are you trying to communicate to your community, why are you the best choice in your marketplace, including doing nothing at all. So that is a question that if I were you, I would put that one to Joel, and he is going to deep dive into who your customer is and what kind of success or lack of success you've had with different media. So each and every one of those might be a yes, and it might be a no. And it would be a couple hour conversation to really get to the bottom of all that. But I'm going to say this to you. Don't limit yourself to one media ever. At least three.
It's worth experimenting based on the research of who your customer is. I think that's where you have to start. Like, yeah, it seems like TikTok, we have that, everybody, that's a hot thing, and we create some great TikToks, but is your customer really there? Is that the place where you should be doing that stuff? Is the advertising that you're doing there the right move? It may be. So I would really need to be like, targeting your consumer in the right way.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming, Pete, that like in the Mattress Industry Network, there's some shared best practices there. Like, hey, this really worked for us on Facebook this past quarter. Those kinds of things, those wins. Does that happen or?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to get a lot of input in Mattress Industry Network group. And I would take each and every one of those with a grain of salt, because you've got guys and gals that won't be here by the end of the year posting in there like they're superstars, and they're about to go out of business. And there's guys and gals in there that are really quiet that are absolute studs and studettes.
Sure.
They are so good at what they do. They don't want to share anything with anybody. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of that in our industry too, but
Yeah.
somebody that works in our industry like Joel could really walk you through that, Nicholas. I would really encourage you to do that. The other person I would encourage you to have deep conversations with on that would be Jeff Janakovo and Scott Vaughn.
All right, last one, under the wire. We're going to get this one in because Charles chimed in earlier. Charles says, we struggled with traffic, bad traffic last year. The first 2 months of this year were good, but this month has been terrible. Just curious if you're seeing that across the board, or is it just me?
It's pretty quiet right now. And it's going to get quieter, the week or two before Easter gets super, super quiet. And then it breaks open a little bit. And then the real mattress selling season, traditionally, the way us guys and gals that have been in this for a long time, the real mattress selling season starts with Memorial Day. That's, President's Day can be good, but Memorial Day is going to be, bigger. And then, of course, you roll right into all kinds of stuff. July 4th, Independence Day and all that advertising that you've got there. So I would tell you that in broad strokes, it's slow right now. But I would also say this, Charles, business is good. For me, it's exceptionally good. And it's because I have a handful of really smart retailers. And then I've got about 70 or 80 that aren't doing great. But that handful of really good retailers is carrying the day. And, we're sending orders into our factories every day. So business is not great out there. I think there's a few things impacting it. People who watch the news a lot are not going to be coming in right now because there's some scary stuff, happening in the world on first glance. If you dive deeper, there's nothing going on. I mean, if you really dive deeper,
costs more to fill up your tank.
Costs more to fill up your tank. We're still not over the effects of inflation. Has it come down in some places? Yes, but it's gone back up in others. So there's a lot of things, but here's the good news. The good news is there's plenty of business out there to be done. And, what I would do is really analyze your metrics, really the few customers that you're getting, really dive into how did they hear about you? And here's the bonus question. Why did you choose us? And you're not fishing for compliments, but why did you choose us? Because there's a lot of options out there, and we're very happy you chose us. Helps us know how to best serve our customers. That's why we ask that question. Yeah. Because we never assume that we have all the answers. We know we're doing a good job because we're doing substantial amount of business and we're very thankful for it. But we really want to know what you want more of, or maybe what you want less of.
I like that. Like what brings you in today, and then after purchase, ask those questions, and then put the duct tape over your mouth and listen, right?
That's the most important part. And sit back and just and ah and let them talk. Let them fill up the silence. You'll putting your ear low to the ground with your existing customers is super important. Most important thing you'll ever do. With that, thank you. Well, we're landing the plane, buddy.
Okay. I'll let you sign it off, man.
Everybody, go forth, have fun, and sell 1 million this week. Thanks for being here. Take care.
Thanks, guys.